All right. Gamers Gaming for Anger coming at you live on the YouTubes.
Rage. It's not live.
You're right.
Can't just say words.
It's live right now.
We're
This is
living
our-
the moment.
Yeah, this is our life. Oh no, it's I'm all sad because no one cares about our life.
Gamers Gaming for no one.
Okay, another game chat session. This time we're actually going to be talking about Halo 4, everything that has to do with 343, how they picked it up, what they did with the story, how we feel about the story. Lee, I know you actually beat this and it hit you hard.
It hit me real hard because 343 did a really cool job and everything looks great and the game's fun to play. I mean, it's going to be fun to play. They can make it could be Halo number 427 and still be fun to play. But what they did with the story, I don't know if that was completely their decision. It was just so stupid.
What about the story?
Just so fucking retarded. Okay, so the story. There's a certain cutscene where you meet the librarian, and she basically tells you that you are part of a cycle. And the second I saw that scene, I started screaming.
I was there for that. It's true.
Because it's literally like you were playing Mass Effect, and then, like, Master Chief just shows up and's like, oh, I'm in the cycle too. Because, oh my fucking god, Assassin's Creed, you're in a cycle. Mass Effect, you're in a cycle. And now Halo, you are in a cycle. And she says the dumbest shit like, we made you 1,000 years ago. Even your battle armor is all because of us. Which completely makes every scientific achievement by man in this universe like nothing. Because, you know, you're just a puzzle piece and we made you. It's so retarded. Like, Master Chief is no longer special. Humans are no longer smart. You are little puppets by, you know...
Part of a greater scheme.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, I can see that, like, that was the complete opposite of what they were getting at with all these other... And I'm not going to claim to know exactly what fucking Bungie was going for, but, I mean, that's what they conveyed to me. That, like, he was just a guy fighting this war, and he was doing it well, and that was, like, a cool thing. Like, every other game, you were, like, the chosen one, and, like, it was all destiny. But in this one, it was just, like...
You're just a badass. That's how the old ones were. That's what we did briefly talk about this, Andreas. We were like, how I was saying that the older ones are pretty much, oh my god, this guy is such a badass. Like, that's all it really was just, you were like, oh my god, Master Chief is just awesome. He's just pure fucking awesome. And that's all that it was. There was no other, like, crazy stuff. He just did what he did, and it looked great while doing it.
Yeah, like, if you just check out the story, like, even the books a little bit, it's just because there's this the crazy training program that made him awesome like that. Made him such the super soldier that he was. And it's almost kind of like they put, like, magic in the universe.
Yeah, because now we're moving past, like, something that's, like, attainable. Because from what you could see in the older ones is that, oh, if Master Chief can do this, well, technically any Spartan should be able to do it, really, because they all went through the same thing. They're all the same thing. But now we're saying that Master Chief is the special one, and that he's the only one that can do all this, and that's the reason why he's done it all.
And I liked that. The fact that he was just, like, a guy really good at what he was doing and just excelling. Like, it was great.
Yeah. Also, another thing that really pisses me off about this whole game is that the entire game... The Didac is fucking you up, and you're just trying to fight the Didac, and you're trying to find a way to kill him. They don't introduce this asshole at all. He just pops up, and everyone apparently knows who he is, except the player.
You know what, really quick, I do have to say, that scene confused the shit out of me. When he just came up, I was like, why do I feel like I'm supposed to know you at this point? They really did over-assume that everyone knew who the Didac was when they introduced that character.
Why?
The Didac was basically Harbinger. We are here to assure the cycle and the safety of the universe. He was the same, like, fucker as Harbinger in Mass Effect. So, okay, so he's the bad guy. You're trying to fight him, you're trying to kill him, but he's got, like, you know, crazy technology powers, and you can't even get near him. And the whole fight scene at the very end, the whole game culminates in a fucking quick time action to kill him.
All right, you know what though?
Like
There is
a
one. I do
cutscene.
have an argument against that though. How good can you possibly make a boss fight in shooters?
Yeah,
Especially
that's
games
exactly
like
what I
this?
was gonna say.
Bullshit, because they made him
Bullshit.
they made him in 2 and 1.
Yeah, and they were not all that great.
They were funner than press X to plant grenade.
At this point, though, I wouldn't even care. I'd rather not sit through some annoying, like them attempting to make a good boss battle and failing at it versus just giving me a few things to watch that I can be like, wow, that was kind of cool.
That's dangerous. I don't know if I
I don't know.
can fully say that. Like, I don't want them to try anymore.
Well, no, I would
think-
love for them to try, but like when you get a game like this all the way up until the end and you want the end to be remembered as something shitty versus something just like, oh, they could have tried harder, but they still gave me something to go with.
If they can make cool parts in a video game, they can make a cool boss battle. There's people who like this is their job is to make good video games.
Yeah.
They can make an interesting boss battle. There could be different points. There could be some quick time events, but it was all just too anticlimactic for like the toughest enemy you have ever faced in your entire life. And the whole Cortana thing, I don't think they played that up enough. How she's going crazy. She just yelled at you sometimes. Like they should have played that up way more. I wanted to see shit where like she was in control of your suit. She should have locked up your armor. She should have
Yeah.
tried to kill you. She should have tried.
There could have been some
she
cool
was just
segments.
way too in control. She just yelled at you. She was just like an abusive girlfriend. It was just really lackluster.
No, I feel you on that.
Oh man. Okay. Here's something I wanted to talk about because just disclaimer, I'm not too into the Halo story. Like I completely did not give that many shits about this one, but when I found out that they brought the Covenant back after 3, I was a little upset. I didn't think they really needed to do that. And in some ways I understand because it's like 343 coming in, picking up this project that's really not theirs, and they don't want to screw with the universe too much. But it really feels like they didn't leave their mark or do anything. They just kind of, like, let's play it safe and do Covenant.
Yeah, nothing was added. There were 3 Promethean enemies. The flying things, the little dogs, and then the knights.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, you couldn't add anything else. Also, why are the machines created by a race that got to the apex of technology so easy to beat? Why can you just, like, rip off their arm and stab them with it?
I don't know. I didn't think they were that easy. The Promethean enemies, I don't know. They were kind of a problem for me. Not a huge problem, but like whenever I had to fight like a group of Promethean enemies, I was a little worried going into the encounter.
It was just the game was pretty, but they
Yeah.
added absolutely nothing except like 3 new guns. Nothing was really added.
And, I mean, I can almost see why, because, like I said, these guys, if they did too much, you know that people would have been like, oh man, they fucked up Halo. This is not Halo. This is not what I wanted. And if they didn't change anything, like what we're saying, everyone's like, oh man, they didn't do anything. They just cranked out the same game over again. So they really were in like a pretty sensitive spot.
Yeah, I think they did well for what they had to do. They're taking this whole new franchise, well not new franchise, but like, you know, they're being handed the reins for this game that has had a legacy that it does. It's got books, it's, you know, the games, the movies, everything, and it was their job to make a good game out of it, and they did. I feel like this game is solid despite its few shortcomings. I mean, the multiplayer is friggin' awesome. The game looks gorgeous. I think that's why like I didn't care too much about the story, because I was just so engrossed with the way this game looked. Like every environment I walked into was beautiful. The way the guns sounded, everything like that just got me into it. So
It's just such a shame that they neglect story so much.
Yeah.
Like there was a second where there was this whole like weird tension between Sarah Palmer and Chief, and they never explored that anymore. Like there were no questions that the new Spartans asked everything was so rushed. There was no character development, no characters. Like you were just Chief. People talk to you through a fucking comm. Like you're way too solo. And
And
they just did not develop any
you
of
are the
these
guy who liked,
characters.
what's it called, ODST.
ODST was the best one. ODST was the best
Straight up?
Halo game. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely, because there were actually characters that you cared about, an interesting story. They interacted with each other. They didn't just stare at each other through their visor helmets.
Yeah, I can, yeah.
We must unlock the potential in your DNA. Like, come on.
Okay, but I mean, like I said earlier, they can see them playing it safe for this one. What about the next one? What are you looking for? Because even though I don't have that much of a stake in Halo, I don't care all that much. I would like to see them try to stand out in this next one. And, actually, this is a 3-4-3 fucking Halo game.
They're not going to do shit in the next one. It's going to be the same game with some weird story. They're not going to do
I can't say that.
anything new.
I can't say that yet. I really can't. There's too little time right now. We're still making the argument against this one that they didn't do enough, or maybe they didn't, they did too much or whatever. But the next one, they're really going to have to make it theirs. If they don't, they will officially go down as, being shitty for taking over this franchise and not doing well enough to
Even if they release another one of these, there's still enough teenage boys that will buy this game and be like, oh my god, it's so good. They'll make their...
That is a problem,
They can make 1 million of these, and they can be just as shitty, and 1 million 15-year-olds will still buy them, which will keep the profits going.
Actually, I don't know. You know what? I really don't know. I don't know if I can back that because of Call of Duty. I don't know that I can back that.
I was just about to say, you think they supplanted them?
Yeah, because when it comes to Halo, I feel like it's a very different audience. Regardless of the fact that it's still a bunch of 15-year-olds playing it, it's a very different audience that plays this game. This game is still very different from Call of Duty in general. So it's hard to say that it's going to be guaranteed sales if it comes out and it's not really good.
They could fuck up for a long time, and people would still buy this game. Halo is one of those titles.
Yeah, no, it's a big name. But, I mean, okay. Like I said, 343 did it safe this time. I feel like the fact that they even, made a story in 4 where it started and then wrapped itself up in one game, I think they might have done that just so that the next game, they have no ties to what they did in this one. They really can just make their game.
Oh, you think?
I mean, I think that's possible now.
Okay.
I think that gives them the ability to do that. I'm not going to claim I know what they were thinking going into this one, but I mean, it certainly seems like a possibility. I mean,
yeah, it's a valid theory.
They made their obligatory Halo game. Now they can make a 343 Halo game.
Oh, very true.
They better not try to bring fucking Cortana back in the next game.
What do you mean bring her back?
Because now she's now Chief is on the search to bring Cortana back.
Oh, that's right. Andreas, you didn't finish it, did you?
Hell no.
Do you know what happens at the end?
No, please.
All right. Spoiler alert, everybody. Basically,
Chief...
Chief...
we're not past that.
Huh?
Like, we're not
We're
past
pretty
that.
past spoiler alert.
Just... well, anyway, so Chief nukes himself and the Didact pretty much all together, and Cortana saves him by entrapping him in the
hard
data
light shield.
Yeah,
shit.
some sort of data thing. So she's just kind of existing in some sort of
the ether.
data, ether thing. So she's still alive. She's still there. There's still parts of her. She's tied to the ship. Mm-hmm. She was tied to the ship that Chief blew up. So that's where she ends off. I don't know.
They need to introduce new characters. There's just way too many other Spartans that are still alive in the universe, and so many other interesting things that are going on.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe that's why this game was so centered. Because really, the whole game happens on Requiem. That's it. There's nothing else. You're in Requiem, and that's it.
Everything is just a little too, these games are so, it's a shooter. It's supposed to be linear, but, everything is just way too it's like a straight corridor, and you're just pressing buttons and you're completing the game. There's no deeper thinking that goes into Halo.
I feel... No, this is why I don't really play shooter stories. I feel that that's just inherent of the
genre.
Of the genre, yeah.
Metro 2033.
That
That was so much fun to play. Interesting characters. When they fought alongside you, you cared about them, and you got to learn more about them.
Also, make note that game didn't do that great.
Yep. And hey, this goes back to our last game chat, THQ.
Yeah, they're fucking going under.
Guys.
So, I mean, is there really incentive out there for people to do a game like that?
I mean, I guess if the market is just reduced to making this game over and over again, then I guess it's
Hey,
just gonna
look,
keep happening.
We're discussing what we discussed last time.
Well, we're getting into it now.
The market of video games.
But it's weird because they can come out with a game like Dark Souls, and Dark Souls did pretty well, didn't it?
Dark
Yeah,
Souls did
Dark Souls
extremely
did
well.
great.
And that was not like a very traditional game.
Exactly. I don't. That's
Like-
it perplexes me to no end. I do not understand it, and in fact, it's infuriating.
Like
Because games like that should exist more. We should have more of games like that. More of them.
I honestly feel like there's a lot of really frustrated game developers who like have these amazing ideas, but the producers walk in and go wider audience,
Yeah.
easier, streamlined playing.
Yep.
And they're just like ripping their hair out because there's so many like
I can definitely see that.
I mean
You know what else too? Like, all right, guys, let's try to do this real quick. Name me like companies who develop games. Not,
Oh,
I mean,
I-
maybe not publishers.
here
Let's
we
try to
go.
go just companies. So we have BioWare, we have Treyarch,
Bethesda, right?
Bethesda,
Oh
wow.
shit.
Oh my fucking
Infinity
life.
Ward,
Shit. Capcom.
Capcom.
Fighting games.
Yeah.
EA?
EA, Activision.
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
EA is a publisher though. Actually, no.
Oh,
EA does do so. Okay. So still, we're barely touching 10 right now. We're at 7, and
I guess that goes to show you something, huh?
yeah, that's what it is. I think that's what I was trying to like get at before. That's why like indie is so big in the way it is now, because nobody else develops games. No one does. And then okay, so if we go to break that down, how many of these companies belong to EA? BioWare. No, is there more? There's not more. There's not more than that. Why did I think they had more than that?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't-
Maybe not. I feel like EA is just eating up everything though.
Not keeping track of the business part.
Yeah.
There's so much.
Okay. Well, sorry. That was a stupid point on my part. But anyway, still, we're running so thin on people who are developing these games, and yeah, we're getting the same run of the mill stuff because it sells copies. And that's all that anybody wants to do is sell copies. Why take
mean-
risks and make something else when you could just sell
You
copies?
do gotta remember it's a business.
No, I do have to remember that it's a business, but how long do I have to let it be a business before I'm playing Call of Halo 37 because that's the only game that comes out every single year?
I mean, oh man, I'm not sure that I actually agree with what I'm saying, but I feel like it's gonna get to the point where like people are gonna be tired and they really are gonna, like the market's gonna shift to that new thing and people aren't gonna be buying the. Yeah, I don't believe what I'm fucking saying.
I mean, the market's always going to be shifting, and people are going to have new interests, but maybe not enough that you're going to get these very.
Exactly.
I mean, I really do think that good stories make good video games, and when you have a good story, you build the video game around it.
I don't think it's enough to have a good story. I'll say that.
No, it has to go hand. There's a balance. It
Yes.
can't just be, oh my god, this story is amazing, and then there's like no game, or then like, oh my god, the gameplay is amazing. Well, okay, you know what, that's actually tough. That's tough to say. But either way, to
Nah,
have a
man,
good
I
story.
play games with fucking amazing gameplay and no story. And
Dark Souls.
Fucking like Super Meat Boy, I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, Super Meat Boy.
No,
I mean,
Dark Souls
has
has-
story. No, it
yeah,
has
Dark
story,
Souls
but
has-
it's not as the direct story as like most people get.
It's not explicit.
Yeah.
You're not like,
They don't-
oh,
they don't tell
chapter
you-
2.
They don't tell you shit in that
Yeah,
game.
exactly.
You got to hunt for
you
everything.
Learn it. But yeah, like
I mean, I shouldn't even be in this conversation because I like bad video games. I
You
like
do.
Alone in the Dark. I am Alone in the Dark.
On that one, yeah.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
it's been said that game like was just polished. It would have been great by a lot of people, and it was not. So
Like, 343 is a big studio.
Yeah.
Like, how many people did they really have working on this game? Because, like, I don't really understand. There weren't that many crazy cutscenes.
No.
I mean, all they must have worked on was graphics and,
Weapon sense.
I mean, yeah, like weapons, enemy AI, how things look. I don't understand
Level
how these
design.
ridiculous, like, dev teams can, like, have such huge budgets and crank out so little that is new. I mean, it feels like they could have just taken an old Halo game, just made it look better, and then, you know, added some 3 new guns,
They did do
some
that.
new animations. They did do that, didn't they?
Yeah.
They just took the old engine. Like,
They did it with 1.
Halo 3 was probably the most...
Oh, yeah.
Halo 3 probably had one of the biggest budgets this, like, last year of any video game.
Yeah, probably.
So, like, what's going on where... Like, what are they doing? Like, what's going on in these development studios? I wish I knew.
I know. Yeah, that's like what I keep saying is that we don't know enough about development processes to really, I guess, comment on them as much as we wish we could.
Yeah.
Because really, we just kind of run into a brick wall. We run into what we're doing right now, which is like, whoa, what is all this money going to? What's happening? Like, but it seems to be such a common occurrence in everything. Is just, yeah, all these games have big budgets, but they're all coming out like they only spent, I don't know, $5 making a game.
I mean, I feel like a lot of money is getting dumped into marketing too, which is a shame.
You know, I was
or like
gonna bring
everyone
that
is
up.
like focused on, okay, we need to have that multiplayer aspect, so like the stories and the campaigns are suffering. Like we went over Mass Effect last time. I feel like if they took the entire, like, as much as I love the multiplayer, if they just took that entire budget and brought it into like the story, I probably would have been happier.
The,
Like, just make a million fucking endings for all the decisions I made or something. I don't care, man.
Yeah.
They focus on... I feel like they focus on a lot of just stupid story things. Like, the, at the beginning of Halo 4, they say, they're like, did you believe that Master Chief was, you know, the person he was because he was broken at his core? And that's such a cool, like, character thing to raise. That he is basically like a sociopath and has no real emotions and is kind of the product of this horrible training, but he can, you know, be better than any soldier, kill any
Yeah,
enemies.
he's just the best soldier, period.
And the second they raised that question, they dropped it and never talked about it ever again.
That's because then he became the chosen one. So that's the answer to that question.
Isn't it?
It's like the Mass Effect
he was
thing.
supposed to.
It's like the Mass Effect thing where they raised that Shepard is probably not even the same. Like, the original Shepard's dead, and he's kind of just like a clone.
Yeah.
When they raise it in the collector base,
Mhm.
or no, the what is it? The
I don't remember exactly where.
the
but
elusive man's base,
yeah, they definitely brought it up and
and then
Dropped
dropped
it.
it. Like, that's such a cool character conflict for someone to go through. And they raise it and drop it,
Well,
and,
now
and
it
then
almost
then
sounds
it's
like
all.
we're arguing writing right now.
Then it's all well.
I mean,
Yeah, story is writing.
Yeah.
Story is good writing.
So I'm just saying this. Now I feel like we've moved this conversation onto like the writing aspect of games, and that perhaps no one really puts much effort into writing anymore.
Oh,
and
that's absolute fucking Dragon Age. That is absolutely fucking apparent that no one cares about story in video games anymore. And there's so few video games that care about story. Like, I can't wait to play Last of Us. I hope that's not a disappointment.
I tell you what, Infinite, man, Infinite
BioShock.
all the way.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. That's interesting. Those were unique. Those were different.
Yeah.
You didn't like BioShock. You don't like silent protagonists.
No. I can't say that because I loved Half-Life.
You did. Yeah. That was like a turning point for you, huh?
Yeah, I loved
Oh, I
Half-Life.
do remember you used to hate silent protagonists.
But silent protagonist to me just it kills it. Oh, a little stupid gripe. When they showed his face at the end, like even a little bit, that was stupid.
Yeah.
They should never
unnecessary.
have done that.
Who?
If you
Fucking Halo.
beat this game on Legendary, they show like his eyes and
Are
a
you
little bit
sure?
of his face.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I heard that was the Didact.
No, it's him.
It's John.
Yeah, it's
They're like.
I mean,
have
I-
the whole process of him like taking his armor off. in
there's
the base
literally
and-
enough of his face where you can visualize the rest though.
Mm-hmm.
It just ruins it. It just there is no. They killed it. Like they should never have showed his face. He should have died in Halo 5, and they should have never showed his
You mean
face.
Halo 7? It's a 3-part series. Or no, so
6.
6. There we go.
Wait, are
6.
you kidding? They're making.
No,
Oh
it's
my
an.
God.
It was known that this is to be a trilogy.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 more games out of 343 guaranteed at least.
I'm expecting the same thing, man.
Yeah, you don't think they're actually gonna be able to pull out something else, and it's just gonna end up being
Well-
another Halo 4.
Like, okay, so
Oh, God.
the reason I like
Damn it.
ODST so much is that every character, through the way they fight, through the way they talk to each other, even though there's so many minimal engagements, you have complete personalities. Complete personalities. Like everyone has a great personality. Actor Nathan Fillion was the main guy.
You just love him.
No, I have such a man.
Look, you know,
I have such a man
have
crush
love for Nathan Fillion.
I love that
have
guy.
to have love for Nathan Fillion.
And okay, so but you are the rookie and you're a silent protagonist. But that's cool because they never show your face. You kind of just make like they never put a personality on him. The way they put a personality on the guy in BioShock, like Gordon Freeman never really has a personality except they kind of like him, and the rookie never really has a personality except that he's kind of saving everyone, which you are doing. Like you're alone in that game and you're experiencing everyone else, and you get such great characters and you get involved in the story, and then you like have great gameplay too, and it makes for a really memorable game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, all I think about when I think about Halo 4 is like maybe I'll go play some multiplayer. Like
Yeah.
I don't think about the story, I don't think about anything else at all except I'll go play some Slayer or something. It's not a memorable game at all. And it just fits right in the shelf next to Halo 3, 2, and 1. And there's none of those games pop out at me.
2, actually, you know what? Thinking about it, 2 is really just big for me because that was my first one. And that's the one I played a lot of. And I have a lot of memories of just playing that game. But you know what a lot of it was the multiplayer.
I can never blame anyone for liking their first, but like, I'm not gonna give it a pass on that. I mean, once again,
I'm saying that's the only reason why it was memorable.
Yeah.
But you know, Leah's point though is that this game is so multiplayer. It is so multiplayer. As much as there is a huge story for Halo and it has all these books and there's so much lore, it's a multiplayer game when it boils down to it.
and
And that's
I was
really
just
all
about
they
to say
care.
that. Like, this is
Yeah.
this whole video. We are pretty much talking about the story. We haven't said much about the multiplayer. That's not really the concern of what we're getting at now. I mean, we're talking about the multiplayer in the regards of maybe the effect it's having on the single player, and you know that happening throughout the whole industry.
That's true.
I mean,
'Cause-
I have no gripes about the multiplayer. I like it.
No,
I think
well,
they did that great.
It's great. It's a lot of fun. The gameplay modes are awesome, and just no complaints.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the point that we had before, where
Oh wait, no, I got some complaints about multiplayer. Never mind.
what's that? Oh my
Ah, I'm sorry. What's it called? What are the drops? The fucking
the ordnance drops.
Yeah, horrible.
Care packages, you mean?
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah. No.
They have no place. Sorry. I know there are game modes without them, but like, shit, man. I like the power weapons being on the maps and like that being a dynamic.
Yeah.
But now it's just like, eventually some guy will get enough kills to get a saw, and you're gonna run across him, and you're not winning that fight. It's not your fault.
Well, here, shall we play devil's advocate really quick? Is that a product of handholding? Because did they take out the weapon drops on the map because certain players who weren't good enough to go get them before they were like spawn killed for them or whatever? Like they wouldn't have them. They would just never have them. People
No,
would just
I
run
think
the
it's a
spawns
straight up
and-
result of like fucking. That's how Call of Duty does it. I'm not gonna even like shoehorn around the subject. They're doing that,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna fucking blow this.
No, use it to kill the hunter.
Shit, it's too late.
Yeah, that thing's dead.
Yeah.
So you think that's strictly a product of Call of Duty?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. I know I should, for the sake of like being subtle about it, but no.
No.
This is because Call of Duty exists. Now Halo has this.
Well, it makes power weapons less like special. Now that everyone can get them,
I mean,
and
there is
you
some
can,
where
and
you can
get
only
them
get on the map.
You can get them multiple times a video game. I know, but if you want a shotgun, you're gonna get it. If you want that machine gun, you're gonna get it. And if you want a rocket launcher, eventually you're gonna get it. It's just like wait a little while.
Yeah, no, that's my problem. Like,
and
you
it's
will,
even
eventually.
worse than Call of Duty because you can die and those kills still count towards it.
Do they? Ordnance?
You lose some of the meter if you die, but I mean, like, as long
It's
as you're
still-
not like
okay.
getting your fucking ass blasted, you're gonna get something. Everyone's getting at least a fucking ordnance drop every game. I'll say that much.
Like
Unless you're fucking away from your controller, you're probably getting an ordnance drop.
shouldn't be rewarded for playing badly. Like, if you're sucking, no one should give you anything.
Yeah.
That's Dark Souls logic.
Yep.
No one likes that.
Oh, actually, I mean, a lot of people apparently like that.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
you know what? You know what's weird? We keep getting back to that game.
Dark Souls?
Yep. No matter, Andreas, think about all the conversations we've had. What do we all amount them back to? Dark Souls.
Because Dark Souls was like the most interesting
It is.
game of the year. It was the most provocative. It made like
And you know what? It's not even this year. This game's kind of old now. We're
What
still
are we
talking
looking at
about
for
it.
Dark Souls. That actually, it's almost 2 years now. Now that we're in 2013, it's about 2 years.
The DLC brought it back into the light and like made everyone remember like we all like this game a lot.
I mean, look, and that game, like, the graphics are nothing special in that game. The writing is
there's
is
barely
good.
any.
Yeah, but there's barely any. They just have great scenery pieces. Everything looks
The
great.
gameplay.
The gameplay is just amazingly like
Tight.
just amazingly
It works,
tight.
Yeah.
You can do a lot with a little. But when you have a game like Halo, they're gonna throw like every single accoutrement into it that they possibly can.
Do you think it's much? No?
It's too much. They're giving the players too much. It's like a fucking. It's just an overload.
But it's also a shooter. What do you do with a shooter? That's not anything else. This game is not an RPG. It's not Borderlands. It's not some sort of adventure where we're like choosing different places to go and things like that. It is just a shooter. You pick up a gun, you pull the trigger, you kill things.
Well, that's
Once
from,
again,
that's
this
from
is
the,
why I don't even really delve into the story. Like I was not planning on playing the story of this game, and I did not.
I mean, the way you get someone coming back, and like, you know how you play a game, you play a level, but you got to go somewhere, so you just like go out, you're doing whatever you need to do, but all you can think about is the video game. It's like a TV series, you know. You're watching Mad Men. It's so good, but you have to keep watching more because you want to keep watching more. It's the story.
You gotta keep wanting
it's
more.
the amazing universe. It's the characters
Yeah.
that make you want to keep coming
it's the
back.
memorability of it.
Yeah,
Because
and
you think about it, like, I mean, we always talk about this, because obviously, guys, we are huge Mad Men, Game of Thrones fans. You know, can't wait for March. But anyway, like, it's always the characters. We're always talking about, like, the characters and the character development and all this stuff going on.
It is a character.
And,
isn't it?
yeah, it really is. Well, especially in a show, like, what else is there to be? But, I mean, in general, though, what else is there? It has to boil down to characters. These things, like, people have to be memorable, and you have to want to know more about them. It has to be engaging.
and that's the problem. Name
Yeah.
anyone in this game that's memorable. Okay, we know Chief, we know Cortana.
I don't even like Cortana.
I mean, like, I faintly remember the captain. I mean, Sarah Palmer's just constantly on your view screen having a fucking period, like PMSing. It's
I'm gonna punch you.
they're lame. They're just lame
Yeah.
characters.
You know, really picking this apart is making me realize that maybe, like, this story is just not as much cared about. Oh wow, that really came out weird. It was not an important factor for them when they did this game. Because, you know, we have a bunch of different points here right
Maybe
now.
that goes back to the fact they needed to make a safe Halo game. Like they,
Yeah.
they could not, like they disappointed in a story. Okay, people can deal with that. If they disappointed in the multiplayer, oh my
Yeah,
god, the world
yeah.
And you know,
would have come down on their heads.
And you can't hate those guys because you know what, they have jobs. Like,
yeah, that's
Yeah.
they have jobs. They're trying to fucking survive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not at all. I don't put any kind of really blame on 343.
they got handed like a big deal here, and they
Yeah.
I think they did one of the best jobs they could have.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
I would not accuse them of like
I feel
not
like,
putting 100% forward.
Yeah, I feel like what we're just arguing here is just, you know, the whole state of
Video
games that are
games,
coming
yeah.
out. Yeah, we're not like essentially saying that 343 is lacking and like
It's-
whatever.
It's,
and
it's
they're,
what
you know,
people are allocating all their time and resources to.
Well,
Yeah.
so if you look, like, video games are a form of entertainment media.
Yeah.
Now, certain movies that came out this year, like, or like last year or recently, but like Inception was a huge risk. No one wanted to fund that kind of movie.
Mhm.
But they gave it to Christopher Nolan, who did the Batman series. It's these new, different projects that end up like sticking in people's minds. Like, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is a huge risk because that was rated R movie, and rated R movies just don't make as much because not as many people can see them. Like, you need to take these adventurous steps.
I don't know about
In
like the
your
whole
media.
rated R thing,
Ow.
but
Yeah, definitely.
no,
No,
so
because
many people
GI
saw that
Joe,
movie
that's
still.
because a GI Joe movie that's PG-13 will make more money because more people will watch than a GI Joe movie that's rated R. That's just a fact.
Yeah,
Okay.
just more people
More
available
people
to see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
will watch it. And what they do is they take out, the gore, the curses, the
Adult themes.
the adult themes, and that like Game of Thrones, if that was like
that was
like
a
if that-
TV-14.
if that was like TV-14 like on like CBS or some shit. CBS doesn't even run shows like that, I don't think. But if it was on one of these channels like that Modern Family was on or something,
Yeah.
that would suck. Game of Thrones would be like way worse. Like it just wouldn't be as good.
yeah.
They dial down these
So,
games too much.
Can we
I'm ranting
argue-
right now.
can-
I'm
no,
ranting.
actually, can we relate that to the rating system in games?
Oh my god, is this really happening?
What?
Did I really just punch that thing to death?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That
Sorry,
was...
punching tanks was a little bit more important.
Okay, go.
So yeah, but like, can that be like? Is there any correlation to that to ratings in games?
I just think that goes back to the appeal to a wider audience.
Yeah, but like, I mean,
Like,
when
it's
you
so
think
risky.
about that,
Like, Dark Souls is fucking risk. You think that, like, they were sitting there like, this game is guaranteed to fucking sell? Shit, no. I mean, they didn't even put it out on a 360 in Japan because they were just like, no fucking market. Like, that's just fact of how that went.
yeah,
I don't know. They had a lot of subjects.
yeah. This was it's a lengthy conversation.
Shit, I think it's good.
Yeah.
It's all industry we care a lot about.
Gamers gaming in anger. Whoa.
Do it. Yeah.
Do we have anything else to talk about?
Not specific. Have we had anything specific to talk about?
Yeah. This is really
So-
just sort of we find a subject and we just start speaking, and then hopefully it makes sense and we keep it kind of where we wanted it to be.
So Halo 5.
Halo 5. Yeah, I guess we could end with that. You still got some time to kill on this. So,
I want Covenant gone.
yeah,
How's that?
yeah.
They wrapped it up in 3. I want it gone.
Well, they wrapped it up in 3, and I told you, we definitely talked about how they did it in this one.
Okay,
and-
yeah. Let's talk about that. The fact that they like brought it back and everyone's like, man, but they totally explained it. Yeah, they explained it. They get to make up the story.
Yeah.
Like they could have said whatever. Like they didn't do it in a horrible way, but I mean,
It could have been something stupid like a Covenant. They went through a time warp and they did not experience the truce.
yeah, just because they weren't retarded about it doesn't mean it's like okay. Like I hate the argument, but but there's a reason. Like yeah, of course there's a reason. All you gotta do is write it. But the fact that they did it, I don't like.
Yeah. No, I understand where you came with that, but then that always just goes back to a point that they just wanted to make a safe Halo game, so they wanted something
Yeah.
familiar.
Okay, I understand. That's why I'm saying Halo
like
5.
yeah, gone.
Get rid of them.
Gone. They gotta go. They can't. There is no reason anymore. You use the only last possible reason you could.
I mean, I think the reason was basically like these guys don't agree with the fucking truce,
yeah.
which they could easily just keep doing.
Yeah, but
I
then
mean,
why aren't there like? Okay,
There
so
wasn't enough.
like, but then why aren't there Covenant troops helping you too? Like, why aren't the elites helping you? Like, it's kind of like the elites had more planets and more troops than
Yeah, but
the world,
you're
and-
floating out in the middle of space, and then you get sucked into a planet.
it's just
Requiem.
that there's no contact with them at all. Like they're just completely. I feel like something this huge, the Covenant, like the friendly Covenant forces would be around. Like, isn't there this great relationship because of the Arbiter and Master Chief now?
Yeah, I really don't.
Whatever
know.
happened to that guy?
The Arbiter?
Yeah, what's he doing right now?
You know
Hanging
what?
out.
3 I did not play. I'm not gonna lie, did not play 3. Did not play ODST. Played 2. Played 4. That's about my extent of Halo.
I played them all. I mean, I I was there when this one was played, and I know enough about it. I'm not that worried about that, once again, because I am one of the people who's just playing the multiplayer.
See, but you're just playing multiplayer.
Because okay, this is like the chicken or the egg. Am I playing the multiplayer because I am like expecting the story to be bad, or is me expecting the story being bad and only playing the multiplayer why they don't give a shit about the story? Like, how are we supposed to argue that?
I mean, you could make the argument that you're part of the problem. But then again, it's fun, so who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it if it's fun.
Fucking video games.
It hurts my soul, though.
Video games. Well, guys.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're done gaming in anger.
Shit. No,
No,
we're not.
we're not. We'll be back next week.
Mad.
Fuck.
Gamers gaming. Mad.